You're watching People's Television, your people's preferred station, powered by you.
For innovative research-based analysis, fresh news and programs, join us on PTV, the People's Oriented Station, transmitting on Star Times Channel 120, showing across 36 states in Nigeria, and Channel 77 on Strong Decoder across 52 countries. Yes, you asked for it. Now you have the best of television. You can also follow us on our social media platforms showing on your screen. People's Television, powered by you.
People of Nigeria, I hear say don't back Odin. From my side, it's good though as the banner, because even human being, you no go to the drink Odin. Oh, I beg, it's good, make a banner. We don't want them again.
A lot of Nigeria youth that have been taken into codeine have caused a lot of havoc to them, even to the society in general.
The recent ban of codeine is very amazing because that will help the Nigerian youths to face the reality and know what they're doing. Because of then, man, people are taking this codeine and they'll be very slow, they can't even help themselves out. But now that it's banned, I think they have no way to find any excuse, so they will come out, do the right thing at the right time and work for themselves.
I feel happy about the ban of codeine in Nigeria because it has caused so many harms to our youth out there. They over-abuse it. For those it may affect, they can go for other alternative of cough syrup. It's not only codeine that is in Nigeria that is cough syrup.
To some extent, it's okay. In the sense that the abuse is getting out of hand. You see people taking codeine as if they are drinking water, which is causing health hazards to most of us. That, I say, is not good. But think about it the other way around. I need codeine to cure me of one ailment or the other. And for me to go and get it now from the pharmacy becomes a problem because it's banned. So what do you do now? So before the government will come out to say this and that, I think it should be better for government to find out the root cause of why these guys or these little ones, not even guys this time, even women, even politicians, they do it, they take it. Find out why they are doing it, especially those guys outside. Then try to sort out that problem so that it will stop. If you say you ban it, the effect will be on almost everybody. But if you find out the root cause of why they are doing it, it will help us better.
I think the recent ban of codeine is one of the most positive things this government has done so far. And it's a very, very good thing because it will actually curtail drug abuse. Because if you look at Kano and Lagos State right now, they're among the highest abusers of drug, and Katsina State is a very good thing for the youth, and it will definitely grow the level of efficiency and self-sustenance in the country.
To, da kai da ke da ita da shi da kowa nake so na yi magana da. Me ke faruwa? Kana son karuwa ga ka zaune bakin rijiya amma kana jin ishin ruwa? Gangan jikin siyasa. In ta dangwala ka dangwala na dangwala. Ina amfanin ana yi ba da kai ba? A turancin Najeriya to an gaya maka. No sit down look. Kana sit down kana looking komai na ƙara lalacewa? Ina ka ga daman ƙwarafi? Da masu jini a jika ake yi, watan matasa. kwankwasa a buɗa ki shige, dago ka shaki iska ko ka lime, da ƙyar ka sha yafi da ƙyar aka kama ka. No sit down look. Matasa ke siyasa, yin rajista, karɓi katin zaɓe yana da amfani ƙwarai kwa.
No sit down look.
No sit down look.
No sit down look.
Make una no sit down look oh.
A popular saying in Nigeria goes that at the time a cockerel matures, it begins to crow to tell the world the time of day. This makes a crucial premise for all of us who have come of age, the youths, to lend our voices to a nation set to flip a new page, like the chance to vote and be voted for, whether being a youth, a woman, or a person with disability, and to do this in unity. And to anyone who hasn't been confident enough to exercise these rights, I beg, step out of the dark and come into the light. I mean, your participating in the electoral process is significant, a moment to behold, like that cock crowing in the morning to tell about a difference. No sit down look. Do something that will count today and be in tomorrow's books. The elections are coming. Register for and get your voter's card, your power card. As a citizen, and especially as a young lady or lad, lend your voice, use your voice, talk, say, and tell the world the time of day.
Tribal mark is the scratching, etching, burning, or cutting designs, pictures, or words into the skin as a permanent body notification or modification.
The practice of tribal marks have been in existence for hundreds of years, and they are not peculiar to Nigeria, not even Africa. During the transatlantic slave trade, tribal identification and facial stripes became important as many repatriated slaves later reunited with their communities by looking at facial stripes.
The major purpose of tribal marks is for identification of a tribe, family, or patrilineal heritage, symbols of beauty, creativity, and keeping of mischievous people alive, which is known as Ila Abiku among the Yoruba tribe of Nigeria.
Yorubas trace the origin of tribal mark to a certain king named Shango, who sent 2 slaves to a distant country for an important mission. When the slaves returned, Shango, the king, found that one slave had achieved successfully what he had been sent to do, while the other had accomplished nothing. The king therefore rewarded the first with high honors and ordered the second to receive 122 razor cuts all over his body, which was to serve as a punishment for flaunting the king's assignments.
But when the scars healed, the appearance of the face of the slave was remarkable, which gave the slave a greatly elegant look, which took the fancy of the king's wives.
Shango therefore ordered that cuts should in future be given not as punishment, but as a sign of royalty, and he placed himself at once in the hands of his subjects to get the marks. However, he could only bear 2 cuts, and so from that day, 2 cuts on the arm have been a sign of royalty. This then introduced various other cuts as marks to different tribes.
In traditional Yoruba societies, every child is born into a patrilineal clan called Idile Baba. In Yoruba language, the clans share clan names, Orile or Oriki, which means poetry, or taboos, Ewo, and facial marks, Ila.
The facial marks on the child assigns the child full clan membership rights. The children with facial marks are called Okola. Families or individuals lacking the normal features consistent with the tribe are not considered as acquiring full standing as agents in Yoruba society. They would also lack the capacity for meaningful behavior such as greeting.
Each tribe of the Yoruba ethnic group had different inscription patterns which appears in different sizes and shapes at different locations within the face or body. The location and position of the mark's inscription depends on the tribe and culture. The tribal marks could be inscribed on the breast, arm, lap, or buttocks, but they are usually on the face.
Popular among the Yoruba tribal marks are Bele. The Bele style is 3 longitudinal lines inscribed on the cheeks. The variant includes Bele Ife, It is peculiar to the Ile-Ife people. Bele Ijebu and Bele Ijesha are other variants of Bele. Owu tribal marks consist of 6 incisions on each side of the cheeks and peculiar to the indigenes of Owu, an historical city in Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State, Nigeria. The Owu tribal mark was inscribed on the cheeks of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Gombo style, also known as Keke, consists of multiple straight and curved lines about a half an inch apart inscribed on the cheeks on both sides of the mouth. Indigenes of Ogbomoso in Oyo State are usually identified by the Gombo or Keke style of tribal marks.
Abaja can be both a basic and also a complex style. It is basic from its either 3 or 4 horizontal stripes on the cheeks. The Abaja style also consists of 12 horizontal lines, 6 lines per cheek. It is often referred to as Abaja Alafin Mefa. The Abaja style of Yoruba tribal mark was inscribed on the cheeks of Lamidi Adeyemi II, the Alafin Oyo. Other Yoruba tribal marks include Ture, Mande, Bamu, and Jangbadi.
The use of tribal mark as a means of identification and beautification among the Yoruba tribes is no longer a norm, and some Yoruba states have enacted certain laws that prohibit the use of marks. Violators of the law are liable to fines or imprisonment or both. In Oyo State, for example, the prohibition of tribal marks is an integral part of the state child rights law, a law that imposes a fine of 1 month imprisonment or both for violation. According to the law, no person shall tattoo or make a skin mark or cause any tattoo or skin mark to be made on a child.
Prominent people with tribal marks include Olusegun Obasanjo, Lamidi Adeyemi II, Ayo Fayose, Adegboyega Dosumu, Amororo I, and Christopher Alao Akala, Alpha Begore, and King Sunny Ade, to mention but a few.
Ni ne mai suna Tukur Sani daga Kajuru local government Kufana. Gaskiya mu a garin nan Kufana community duka muka taro, muka zauna, muka yi meeting game da matsalan hanyar nan. Wannan rafin nan mun kai kuka a wajen hakimi. Da shi hakimi ya ce to wannan matakin nan shi zai rubuta ya kai ma local government. Daga wurin kuma sai member na skip, wani kungiya ne na zaman kanta, shi ma wani member ya zo ya shigo da wannan budget na wannan gadan nan tun da dadewa, amma har yanzu ba mu samu cin gaba game da wannan hanyar ba. Har ila yau muna kan rubuta letoti, mun ma rubuta leta waɗanda sun ma fi so 10. This is how we in Kufana, Kajuru local government, Kaduna State, now sit down, look.
A classico, I tell you, like 3 points is clear.
Yes.
They go watch match.
Okay, what do you want me to do about it? Give us light.
That's the only thing you've been saying since you came into my office.
Maybe your work be that.
No, it's my work, but see.
Our government fit do their work if we sef do our own work. No just sit down. Carry wetin dey worry you go meet who suppose solve am.
Good evening, welcome to the conversation here on People's Television tonight. My name is Daniel Mwaboso. There's been so much talk, the politics, there's so much happening that has brought so much conversation, has given us reason to talk and, you know, discuss matters that have been trending in the polity. Now, the National Assembly is no more sitting. Yes, the planned reconvening for today, the 14th of August, is no more. Didn't happen due to reasons stated by the spokespersons of the Speaker and the Senate President. They both, you know, in a joint statement said that the joint committee that is responsible to look into the INEC budget for the elections needed to submit some sort of reports, and because of that, they cannot meet. It will be baseless to meet. Well, many reactions have trailed that. Many people have come to say, why would, you know, this possible reconvening be postponed? Moving on now, there's so much also to another developing story is the fact that there is no date in view for the reconvening of the National Assembly. Many have said maybe they may just reconvene on the 25th of September as they had planned earlier. I mean, is there anything, you know, is there anything that is not seen here? Is there any undertone to the fact that they are supposed to have reconvened or should have reconvened for the sake of the budget, and now postponing it? We have barely, say, 6-7 months to the elections, and budgets are not ready yet. You know, many matters. No, but the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, and the Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, has informed members of the National Assembly that no date has been fixed for the reconvening of the National Assembly. Now, the two chambers was built to reconvene to consider the INEC 2019 election budget request forwarded by President Muhammadu Buhari. The joint committees of the Senate and the House were expected to meet with the Joint Committee on the Senate on appropriation, loans and debts, and the Eurobond request after two reports would have been ready. Okay. Now away from that now, let's move on to the by-elections that happened in Kogi, Bauchi and Katsina State, and all swept by the APC. Don't also forget that a state House of Assembly by-election also took place in Cross River, and that was won by the PDP. Many haven't really spoken about this, but the focus has been on the three federal National Assembly seats that took place, and the APC swept all three, and the PDP had the State House of Assembly seat in Cross River, and that was it was taken by the widow of the late House member who passed on, and the seat was declared vacant in May. Now, so much reactions have trailed the result. The PDP in Bauchi South have come out to say that they would go to court to challenge the result of that election. And in Katsina, it was a landslide victory for the APC. And in Kogi, in Kotonkafi Federal Constituency, Lokoja, where we experienced or we saw, you know, issues of thuggery and ballot box snatching, and even two deaths were recorded. And one would think at this point in time, why would we still be facing this kind of issues in elections? But the worst of them all is the fact that vote buying has become a major issue right now. As reports had it that in the elections, votes were bought from the range of 100 naira to as much as 5,000 naira for votes. I want to wonder where exactly we're heading to with our democratic process, you know. But all of this have brought so much reactions. Let's see this report by Emmanuel Bagudu. As regards the reactions, the mixed reactions we had concerning the by-elections that went down last weekend.
This is one of the newsstands located outside Abuja City Center, and this time our camera lens caught up with these Nigerians doing this. Kari community is a satellite town bordering the FCT and Nasarawa State, and all that these Nigerians are interested in is to interrogate national issues at their level. Now, the burning issue at the moment is the just concluded by-election in Kogi, Bauchi, Katsina, and Cross River State.
The APC, what they plan, they already know that they cannot win the election by free and fair election. That is the reason why APC been picking the ballot paper. Some area we discovered that they don't even send the ballot, the INEC this thing to the polling unit.
They should actually demonstrate some level of maturity. Very important. They should not be childish and start going there to box themselves because there are very important national issues that is before the National Assembly, like the issue of the budget for the INEC. So they have to consider that, and the issue of who becomes the Senate president should not arise for now, rather, but this should be handled first since it's paramount and it's timely. It's very important because of the election that is coming up in 2019. So this one should be dealt with before they could also deal with other issues of who becomes the president, why Saraki should step down, why he should not continue as Senate president.
You can't separate the macroeconomy, how people are faring from election activities. You understand? People are very poor. That's why you can give somebody 2,000, 5,000 naira to sell his, to sell, let me put it this way, to just decided to sell, that has to do with his life, to do with his life and Nigerians. Because when you are not buying, when you are giving me 5,000 to vote for you, in the next 4 years, I can't come and disturb you because you have paid me off.
For Farmers Abbey, the Obudu State constituency election in Cross River State had a lot of issues.
In as much as I sympathize with her that her husband is late, the people are not happy because she's not conversant with the politics of the Obudu people. She's not conversant with their problems. She doesn't understand what the people want at this point in time. You see, politics is not all about compensation. Politics should be service to the people. Politics should be delivering. It should be quality representation. And a woman who probably does not know the terrain, how does she represent the people? How? It's going to be a very difficult task, and I see the people of Obudu being shortchanged in the coming days.
The general consensus here is that Nigerian democracy will only thrive if both government and politicians respect the electoral process. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
Okay, those reports there and, reactions as regards to elections. But the APC has come out to, talk big about the elections. They have described the hat-trick victories as an endorsement of the Buhari Osinbajo ticket for 2019. Now, in a joint statement, the spokesman for the president and the spokesman for the vice president came up together to say, yes, that this is an endorsement, that the president has some sort of goodwill, and, he would win, like it's some good sign that the APC would clinch the presidential seat again in 2019. Let's hear that report by the spokesman of the president and the vice president.
Despite the absence of President Muhammadu Buhari, who is in faraway London for a 10-day vacation, the presidency still remained determined to sustain its grip of the nation's political space via its party, the APC. This became clear in the just concluded National Assembly by-elections in Katsina North, Bauchi South, and Lokoja Kotankarfi Federal Constituency. Laolu Akande is the vice president's media aide. He also remained positive that the Buhari Osinbajo ticket is sellable. The presidency is convinced that it has done well in the past 3 years in areas of security, economy, and job creation, among others.
Is that really an endorsement? Should the APC count their victory on 3 by-elections into the National Assembly? Well, 2019 will tell. Don't also forget that the RAPC has also come out to say that Saraki should declare the seat of Godswill Akpabio vacant as regards his defection from the PDP to the APC. Now, there have been so much contention about this matter, owing to the fact that there are laws and counter laws, and there are clauses and counter clauses as to why a lawmaker or an elected officer should decamp, as to reasons why he should decamp. And if those reasons are not met, then he should, leave or his seat be declared vacant. Now, some of the issues that have come up is the fact that the reason by a court order why an elected officer can decamp, and still retain his seat is on the basis of if there is a problem, a factional problem at the national level of his party. Now, many have also argued that only INEC can determine that status, that if there is a problem at the national level of any political party. Now, many have said there is no problem with the PDP. At the national level, there is no faction, and so there was no reason for Akpabio's decamping. Many have also said that the APC have a bit of issues with their division and all of the drama surrounding them. And the 14 senators that left the party, left on good reasons, and their leaving is justified. Nevertheless, many have argued that in 2014, when there was a massive decamping from the PDP, owing to the fact that there was a factional problem at the national level, was it INEC that determined that there was a problem? Many of these questions waiting for answers. I'll be joined on the conversation tonight by Prince Kashim Afegwa, spokesman of the RAPC, and he'll be sharing his thoughts on all of these things, also the NAS siege, as well as the defections in the political space. We'll go on a short break now. When we come back, my guest joins me. Welcome back to the conversation. Yes, I told you before we went on the break that I'll be having the spokesman of the RAPC join me on the conversation, Prince Kashim Afregwa. Welcome to the conversation. Okay, first, I would start by asking you of the statement that was credited to the APC, to the RAPC actually, as regards Saraki declaring the seat of Godswill Akpabio vacant, was that an advice, or was that according to the rule of law? Was that like, we advise you to do this, or was that like he would do it? I mean, what was RAPC's stand on this matter?
Well, the law is very clear, Section 68. If you are defecting from a party and your party does not have any division, so to speak, the rightful thing to do is to defect, is to resign, or the Senate President will declare your seat vacant. We have just told the Senate President to apply the law.
Okay, so, but many have also said the emergence of RAPC was a ploy to cause some sort of rancor to enable the 14 senators and the governors that defected to defect. How true is this?
It's not true. I don't think a lot of you know the crisis in the APC. I don't think a lot of people know. After the convention, there were certain positions that were not voted for. One of such positions is the National Organizing Secretary. Before it was time to vote, they poured water into the ballot boxes. So they couldn't vote. 6 states did not vote in that convention. So that invalidated a lot of things. That's why we're in court. And so, apart from that, the chairman of the convention committee, His Excellency the Governor of Jigawa State, Alhaji Badaru, was adequately informed of those infractions. He accepted, and at the end of the day, we just went and declared persons, as elected with those kind of portfolio. Now, they set up a committee, they call it Ken Namani Panel. Ken Namani Panel has now recommended that those positions should be invalidated because there were actually no voting. And the National Working Committee of the APC is saying that they will need to refer to NEC. Only God knows when NEC will hold. So there are quite a number of issues. And we don't forget that ab initio, we stated that because of the parallel congresses in 24 states, so that what happens to the delegates from those states? Who did they vote for? They were excluded. And so when you have an exclusion, it means the process was not foolproof. So it's not about causing rancor. No, aggrieved by these infractions on the processes, particularly not adherence to Article 20 of the APC Constitution, which gave a life to the fact that if you have persons who are unopposed, what you should do is either a ballot or a voice vote. They didn't do that. Go and play the tapes of that convention. So there are quite a number of infractions. And so it was as a result of that we decided to say no. Let's provide, a platform for like minds within the party. And those states where you have parallel Congress will have some of the executives as part and parcel of us, of our National Working Committee. So there's nothing about ploy, no.
But the APC now has swung into action. It started work, and there is no plan to call the aggrieved parties together, especially with the parallel conventions that happen.
Don't forget that you said they've got to work, but don't forget that at some point they told us that they wouldn't lose sleep. But we saw people who were sneaking out at the tick of the night to see some of our members and pleading with them not to leave the party. So it's the way of politicians. They hardly tell you the truth. They hardly come out clean when it comes to issues of political engagement and constructive bargaining. They will rather, you imagine what happened in the case of Kwankwaso. When they pleaded with him, he went to the president, they had a meeting, they praised him to high heavens. They call him all manners of names. The same thing with Governor Otom of Benue State. They praised him, they said, no, he's a man of this, a man of that, he can't go back to his vomit, he did this, blah, blah, he's a man of integrity. The following day, when he defected, they tried to use 8 men to go and impeach him. So, you see, the APC, is having its own kettle of fish. A lot of problems here and there. We don't want to lose sleep over our APC, but at night you go about lobbying and win people. So it was in the course of that they had to go and prevail on Akpabio, thinking they've got a big fish, and so not knowing that the PDP is not suffering from any division. They've done their convention December 9th, 2017. So they are well and good. They are whole. So no, there's no division in PDP. So why will Akpabio defect? That seat should be declared vacant.
But don't you think Akpabio's defection or going for Akpabio was a strategic move?
There's nothing strategic there. It's just the foolishness of the system, of the political system that we are in. What is strategic in going for Akpabio? That what should happen? You went to Akwa Ibom, you were raining abuses on PDP, and you were taking one of their former governor who served for 8 years, who built the airport that you landed on, who built the road network that took you to your destination, where you were receiving him. He was the one who built the stadium where you were receiving him. And you were saying that PDP crippled the economy of Akwa Ibom State for 16 good years. That's contradiction. That's foolishness. And for me, Akpabio was just being insulted right before his face, but because they say a man with a secret is a lonely man. So because he's got certain secrets in their hands, so he has to keep quiet. Otherwise, he should be able to speak out to say no. For 16 years, Vito Atta, who is now a top notch of the APC, was a governor for 8 years. He laid the architectural design for this state. And for another 8 years, I came on board to build to translate the architecture into practice. And that's what we are having now. Give it to Akwa Ibom, so whether you like it or not. If you go there, you see some element of governance in that place, and because of continuity of projects and programs, and even this present governor is doing so well. And so if he's been insulted right before his face and being called uncommon defector, for you to be an uncommon transformer to become an uncommon defector, it's like taking you from your Olympian height to the rubbles of destruction. So for me, there's nothing strategic about that. Okay,
but I'm talking about Akpabio's defection now. A PDP chieftain has admitted that Akpabio's defection is a blow to the PDP, as they didn't see it coming, and has attributed him to being some sort of king of the South for the PDP in that region. I mean, many have thought this would affect the fortunes of the party, especially in that region, not just in the state.
You see, if elections are to be celebrated on the basis you see, but because we believe that one individual approximates they'll be conducting, you can see the roles that individual play. They know that Senator Godwin Akpabio has deep pockets. Don't forget he's been standing trial, or is it that the state has been trying to help him to evade prosecution?
But he's been denied all of that.
To the accusation of 108 billion. He's all over the place.
He's denied all of that. He said the young man who wrote the petition actually withdrew the petition.
See, forget all of
that. He was not under duress to defect.
Forget all of this. We know, do they ever tell you the truth? Do they live within their means? Have you ever seen a governor in this country who will tell you he's been a governor and comes out clean? Have you ever seen one? Would they ever agree? What kind of lifestyle do they live? What's their job for 8 years? The kind of El Dorado that they live in, where do they acquire this kind of wealth? Forget all of that, because the processes have to go through the law courts. You have to be tried, you have to be prosecuted before a verdict can be passed on you. That's the only reason why we put allegedly and all of that. So the state government has been providing an anchor for him and all of that. That is known, and visible to the blind, and is audible to the deaf. So whether he likes it or not, he can deny. But they cannot tell me that for 8 years that he ran the state, he ran it within the best of openness and transparency. No. So okay. to that extent, they have his balls on the hands of the APC-led EFCC.
Okay, now let's talk about the RAPC now. A statement by Godswill Akpabio credited to him saying that if he has to lose his seat, it means that every other defector has to lose their seat, and that the RAPC is not seen as a faction owing to the new allegiance that they have with the CUPP. I mean, doesn't that contradict the fact that
there's no contradiction.
has joined a coalition?
I've told you, there's no contradiction. That is the more reason why they should worry, that there's a faction. If there was no faction, you won't be seeing the leadership of the disputed APC faction going around in the night, robbing mines and trying to reach out to people.
No, but,
you understand?
but the fact that the RPC has joined a coalition now.
No. We can be part and parcel of any coalition. It doesn't make us to lose our identity. A coalition is not a merger. A coalition is a coalition because you believe in certain ideology or movement or what have you, that certain parties are trying to come together to pursue a particular cause. It doesn't make you lose your identity. We are first and foremost members of APC. I have my APC card. But we are disgruntled by what is happening in the party, the kind of monarchical governance, the kind of maximum rulership that the APC is trying to foist on Nigerians. You don't, impunity, imposition, congresses were held and all of that. From my ward, from my little ward up to the local government executive to the state government executive, nobody will consult you, nobody will tell you what is happening. You are just written and they impose on you. That's not the process of a party choosing leadership that will represent it at different categories or at different levels of government. At the local government level, at the ward level, you must be involved. You must be because all politics is local. When you sit down you are not being cultivated. You are not being told what's happening, and you are not being allowed to vote for who to represent you at the leadership level, at your ward level, ward executive level. The local government is the same thing and all that. You don't write a list and somebody is sitting down somewhere and approving all of that. No, that's not democracy. For me, even if you are doing consensus has to be agreeable by majority of your members through a process of consultation and constructive engagement and collective bargaining. You don't have to impose your whims and caprices on the people and say, okay, go to say the leader has spoken and every other person should keep quiet. No, I can't keep quiet. I will speak out. I will say my mind as it affects me because I want to be involved. I want to be able to extract certain commitments from my people. I want to be able to say, yes, I buy into this leadership of this young man. I want to see somebody who has the capacity to lead me at the ward level to be elected into that position. Because democracy is all about election. But when you have scenarios where people just impose lists, of course, we have been seeing unity lists before now. But we thought that was out of the way, this new generation leadership of party management. But APC came on board with another unity list. You saw it all displayed at the Eagle Square. Then what is the change about? So some of us cannot bear all of this infraction. That's why we decided to say, okay, those who have been screamed out of the old arrangement, let us come together under a platform called the RAPC. I will continue to insist that the right thing will be done. We're in court, of course, so we are not going to discuss some other issues that will affect our position in court.
So what is the RAPC's position in court?
We are saying that the leadership that was produced at the Eagle Square does not fall in line with the provisions of the Article 20 of the APC Constitution. Simple. And we are saying the court should declare it not void.
Now, looking at all that is happening now, we sought the opinion of a lawyer who was going to say that it's only INEC that can confirm for sure if there is a valid division at the national level of any political party.
It's only INEC?
Yes, and not the fact that people just leave the party and
INEC does not live in isolation. They live within us. And they are part and parcel of the Nigerian political system. Whether you like it or not, they read newspapers, they see persons, and INEC say we are faceless. I'm not a faceless Nigerian. Neither is the chairman of Galadima, neither is other members of our party a faceless Nigerian. No, INEC knew that, even as observers at the convention knew that the wrong thing was done. So the Article 20 that was not followed, if you don't follow your constitution to do what you say you want to do, then what are you going to follow? It's not a jungle rule. You don't apply jungle justice. Justice is the common denominator that brings equity and fair play. If you don't apply it, no matter how you see it, you are going to have problems. There is no justice in the imposition of candidates. There's no justice in the displayed. There's no justice in the maximum rulership that has been showcased. So for me, it baffles me when people talk about there's no division. How do you define division? How do you define it? Because as a party member, I have my obligations. I have to pay my dues at my ward level. I have to participate in meetings. I have to also be part and parcel of the processes. If you now scheme me out, how do you want me to get justice? Apply that justice and fair play on me. So a level playing ground has to be created in all situations when it has to do with elections of positions into party offices and into elective positions in governance. So if it's just like INEC is conducting election, and you say there's no need to even conduct election, they just write results and they announce. Then you say go to hell. Then you tell me that all is right. No, what they did at the Eagle Square was a sham, was a rape on democracy. If we are preaching that we are a party of change, we must be seen to be exhibiting that change attitude. We cannot continue to preach one thing and we are doing another. We must showcase to Nigerians that we're a party with a difference, a party that respects the rule of law and the provisions of our constitution. So to that extent, Nigerians will take us serious. Don't forget, we also came into office by a manifesto. We showcase to Nigerians that these are the things we are going to do if elected into office. 3 years down the line, go and look at our manifesto and what is being done now. There's a sharp difference, a remarkable difference on what we are doing. Restructuring we promised in the first quarter of our government, we are going to set the machinery in motion. Till today, 3 years plus, we haven't seen anything like that. They set up a committee headed by El-Rufai when it was obvious that the discussion had overtaken the country. Nothing was produced. At the end of the day, they came up with a document which is gathering dust on the shelves. So how do you want to interrogate governance if you can't respect your simple documents upon which a mandate was given to you and upon which you promised to deliver on electoral promises?
So what level is this matter in court now?
Well, I think it's been assigned, and so we are going to appear.
Okay. Let's also talk about the National Assembly siege and the fact that there have been accusations and counter-accusations as to the fact that the Senate President and the Deputy and his Deputy are embroiled in this matter. How feasible is it that they will be embroiled in this matter? How feasible is it that the Senate President and his Deputy will be embroiled in the National Assembly siege by the DSS?
You see, I'll be following the narratives, and I'm quite worried that the APC that prides itself as a party of change, in all this narration, they have not called for an independent probe or investigation into the siege, first to the residence of the Senate President and his Deputy, secondly to the National Assembly. All they'll be hammering is about impeachment this, impeachment that. That tells you that they are the architect of that siege. And that is why we are calling on government to set up an independent probe panel or investigation panel headed by a renowned jurist who will have all the opportunity to look at the issues and come up with a position of what actually transpired. It is not about impeachment this today, impeachment today. What Nigerians are asking for is not about impeachment. It's about governance. Please govern. Please preside over the country. Stop the killings. Provide security. Every day people are being kidnapped. On the way to Kaduna, about 10 people were kidnapped about 3-4 days ago. Reportedly stated all over the place. 4 policemen were killed in Edo, armed robbery counter, and other civilians. Of course, they were able to go down 2 or 3 of the armed robbers. Fine. But why should that happen at all? Every day you read newspaper, you see one killing or the other. There is great insecurity. I don't know why the APC is spending so much time and energy hammering on impeachment. I see that to put food on the table of the common man. People are suffering. There is poverty. There is hunger everywhere. Please render service. Govern the country. Let us see what you are doing so that life can become better for the ordinary person on the street. It's not about impeaching. If you want to impeach anybody, why are you making noise about it? You want to shoot a bear. You are telling the guy, I'm coming for you, I want to shoot. The bear will fly. And so Saraki has been flying.
Okay, we will talk about the embattled Senate President as well as the reconvening of the National Assembly when we come back from this short break. I'll be speaking with Kasim Afegboa, spokesman of the RAPC, on a few national issues that have been trending in the polity. But we'll be back on the concluding part of the conversation. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This is The Conversation, and I have been speaking with Kasim Afegboa, spokesman of the RAPC, and we have been talking about defections, the RAPC's position on of Godswill Akpabio. You know, the thoughts on the fact that his seat should be declared vacant because of what a court order has said on defections. Now let's talk about the embattled Senate President now. Many have said he's been in so much drama. And first, the APC came up with talks as to, okay, you've defected from the APC, you're now in the minority, you should resign. Later, they changed the narrative to saying, okay, because of morality, for the sake of morality, you should resign. And now they're saying, Godswill Akpabio, who was your minority leader, has resigned because he defected. So you should toe the path of morality and resign.
You are looking at two different issues here. First, the position of the minority leader is a party position. It has nothing to do with the nuances of the Senate as a body. It's just for the party to say, well, we're a party of minority members. This is our leader in case you want to interact with us. Then the party of the majority member will say, this is our leader, majority leader, and all of that. So these are not recognized in the Constitution of Nigeria 1999 as amended. The position of the Senate President and the Deputy Senate President are there. Speaker and the Deputy Speaker are there. And the procedure for their removal are also well attenuated in the Constitution. So you don't mix the two positions together. Akpabio, whether he likes it or not, he couldn't have defected without him resigning. He can't be a minority leader in APC, his new party. Neither will he be a minority leader. So he has to leave his position. Whether he resigns or not, he naturally ceases to be the minority leader the day he defects. So, but in the position of the Senate President, if there are 5 parties in the Senate, for example, and one of the parties has two members, another one has 1 member, another one has 10, and the others have majority. If in the opinion of the members of the Senate, a member from the minority party, the least minority party, so to speak, they decide to say, you should lead us, and is voted for, he becomes the Senate President of the Senate. He becomes the President of the Senate, elected by members from both the minority and the majority. It happened in the Second Republic. John Washpam became the Deputy Senate President from a minority party, NPP. Honorable Ume Uzeoke was also a Speaker. He's from a minority party. NPN was the...
But many have argued that there was an agreement with the parties at the time, before that time.
I am telling you, see, we are speaking the same thing. There was an agreement, there was no agreement, but he was from a minority party. And he was elected on the floor of the parliament. The other person was also elected on the floor of the parliament. What I'm telling you is that it is not automatic that somebody from the majority party should be the headship or the leadership of the Senate or the House of Reps. It is, in the opinion of members of both either House of Reps or the Senate, since we are running a bicameral legislature, to decide who leads at that level of Senate President and Deputy Senate President, or Speaker or Deputy Speaker.
Okay, now let's quickly look at the fact that the National Assembly have been have moved their planned date for reconvening, which was supposed to be today, and it was moving definitely. We do not know. According to this, the statement, there is no planned date yet. Many have said maybe Saraki is developing a cold feet as regards the reconvening.
There's nothing like cold feet. I hate to hear this kind of discussions on narratives. What is cold feet? You know the calendar year of the National Assembly. In July, they will naturally proceed on their 8 weeks holidays, which is usual for them, and they are resuming September 25th. Now you came up with this idea of environment about the money for the INEC elections, for the general elections in February. You say it's environment. When you were submitting your budget for 3 years ago, 4 years ago, you knew that the election was going to be in February. So when you are preparing your budget, it's expected that you put everything, package everything, and present to the National Assembly, because you know elections will hold in February or March. So we already know these are statutory dates that we don't need to argue about. 60 days before the expiration of one government or 90 days before the expiration of another government. So the federal government ought to have prepared this and put in the budget of 2018. Now you didn't do that. Now you say you want to do environment, or what they call, or what some other person say comes supplementary. It's not supplementary. It's environment. Now, the National Assembly, what do you need? They have, at the leadership level, they have met with the INEC chairman, and they have discussed, and they have given the assignment to their own committee on appropriation to look into all of that. Then when it is time, when they have concluded, and they have issues, and they have got it to a point that they will need to endorse it, then the Senate will reconvene and the House of Reps will reconvene.
Okay, now
Simple.
quickly, do you think the APC can muster the support to oust Saraki when they reconvene?
How would they oust Saraki? Should that be the problem of APC? Should that be the problem of Nigerians as we speak now? When there's no governance, when there are a lot of leadership failures, when we are drifting towards the failed state, everything seems not to be working. Should that be our priority? How can they muster? They are 53 or 54, give them another 53 or 54. The two-third majority as stipulated in the Constitution of Nigeria is about 73 senators. In the case of House of Reps, it's 240. So if you want to remove, please, why do you have to be shouting? Let them resume, then mobilize your people if you want to, if you feel that you can muster 73 senators, well and good. Then the day that the man knows that he has lost the confidence of two-third majority of his members, he may choose to resign, or he may wait to be impeached. So why the noise?
Okay, now, finally now, the national chairman of the APC, in his last press briefing sometime last week, said that the APC do not have a problem with the speaker, and that the speaker, praised the speaker and being a qualified member. But many are still saying the speaker is standing on a shaky ground as regards defection. Do you think the speaker is likely to join or defect?
The speaker is still a member of the RAPC, because he's also disgruntled by what happened at the convention. He was not cultivated. He was not told what happened in his domain. Whether you like it or not, he's the number 4 citizen of the country. He deserves to be treated with respect. And when they did the convention, the congresses right in his area, he was not consulted. He didn't participate because nobody felt it was important, because they were imposing people. The governors imposed the executives at the ward level, at the local government level, and at the state level, and they choose their delegates to come and appear. But the speaker was just being magnanimous by attending the event and staying all through the event. So whether they like it or not, the speaker will still move.
Thank you very much, Prince Kashim Afegwa, for joining me on the conversation.
It's a pleasure.
It's been wonderful having you. And I have been speaking with Prince Kashim Afegwa, spokesman of the RAPC, talking about a couple of issues during the polity. And that is where we wrap it up here on the conversation. Do join us same time next week on another episode. The news at 8 comes in a bit. My name is Daniel Wamboso.
To, da kai da ke da ita da shi da kowa nake so na yi magana da. Me ke faruwa? Kana son karuwa ga ka zaune bakin rijiya amma kana jin ishin ruwa? Gangan jikin siyasa. In ta dangwala ka dangwala na dangwala. Ina amfanin ana yi ba da kai ba? A turancin Najeriya to an gaya maka. No sit down look. Kana sit down kana looking komai na ƙara lalacewa? Ina ka ga daman ƙorafi? Da masu jini a jika ake yi. Watan matasa. Kwankwasa a buɗa ki shige. Dago ka shaki iska ko kalime. Da ƙyar ka sha yafi da ƙyar aka kama ka. No sit down look. Matasa ke siyasa. Yin rajista. Karɓi katin zaɓe. Yana da amfani ƙwarai kwa.
No sit down look.
No sit down look.
No sit down look.
Make una no sit down look oh.
A popular saying in Nigeria goes that at the time a cockerel matures, it begins to crow to tell the world the time of day. This makes a crucial premise for all of us who have come of age, the youths, to lend our voices to a nation set to flip a new page, like the chance to vote and be voted for, whether being a youth, a woman, or a person with disability, and to do this in unity. And to anyone who hasn't been confident enough to exercise these rights, I beg, step out of the dark and come into the light. I mean, your participating in the electoral process is significant, a moment to behold, like that cock crowing in the morning to tell about a difference. No sit down look. Do something that will count today and be in tomorrow's books. The elections are coming. Register for and get your voter's card, your power card. As a citizen, and especially as a young lady or lad, lend your voice, use your voice, talk, say, and tell the world the time of day.
Tribal mark is the scratching, etching, burning, or cutting designs, pictures, or words into the skin as a permanent body notification or modification.
The practice of tribal marks have been in existence for hundreds of years, and they are not peculiar to Nigeria, not even Africa. During the transatlantic slave trade, tribal identification and facial stripes became important as many repatriated slaves later reunited with their communities by looking at facial stripes.
The major purpose of tribal marks is for identification of a tribe, family, or patrilineal heritage, symbols of beauty, creativity, and keeping of mischievous people alive, which is known as Ila Abiku among the Yoruba tribe of Nigeria.
Yorubas trace the origin of tribal mark to a certain king named Shango, who sent 2 slaves to a distant country for an important mission. When the slaves returned, Shango, the king, found that one slave had achieved successfully what he had been sent to do, while the other had accomplished nothing. The king therefore rewarded the first with high honors and ordered the second to receive 122 razor cuts all over his body, which was to serve as a punishment for flaunting the king's assignments.
But when the scars healed, the appearance of the face of the slave was remarkable, which gave the slave a greatly elegant look, which took the fancy of the king's wives.
Shango therefore ordered that cuts should in future be given not as punishment, but as a sign of royalty, and he placed himself at once in the hands of his subjects to get them out. However, he could only bear 2 cuts, and so from that day, 2 cuts on the arm have been a sign of royalty. This then introduced various other cuts as marks to different tribes.
In traditional Yoruba societies, every child is born into a patrilineal clan called Idile Baba in Yoruba language. The clans share clan names, Orile or Oriki, which means poetry, or taboos, Ewo, and facial marks, Ila.
The facial marks on the child assigns the child full clan membership rights. The children with facial marks are called Okona. Families or individuals lacking the normal features consistent with the tribe are not considered as acquiring full standing as agents in Yoruba society. They would also lack the capacity for meaningful behavior such as grouping.
Each tribe of the Yoruba ethnic group had different inscription patterns which appears in different sizes and shapes at different locations within the face or body. The location and position of the mark's inscription depends on the tribe and culture. The tribal marks could be inscribed on the breast, arm, lap, or buttocks, but they are usually on the face.
Popular among the Yoruba tribal marks are Bele. The Bele style is 3 longitudinal lines inscribed on the cheeks. The variant includes Bele Ife. It is peculiar to the Ile Ife people. Bele Ijebu and Bele Ijesha are other variants of Bele. Owu tribal marks consist of 6 incisions on each side of the cheeks and peculiar to the indigenes of Owu, an historical city in Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State, Nigeria. The Owu tribal mark was inscribed on the cheeks of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Gombo style, also known as Keke, consists of multiple straight and curved lines about a ½ inch apart inscribed on the cheeks on both sides of the mouth. Indigenes of Ogbomoso in Oyo State are usually identified by the Gombo or Keke style of tribal marks.
Abaja can be both a basic and also a complex style. It is basic from its either 3 or 4 horizontal stripes on the cheeks. The Abaja style also consists of 12 horizontal lines, 6 lines per cheek. It is often referred to as Abaja Alafin Mefa. The Abaja style of Yoruba tribal mark was inscribed on the cheeks of Lamidi Adeyemi II, the Alafin Oyo. Other Yoruba tribal marks include Ture, Mande, Bamu, and Jangbadi.
The use of tribal mark as a means of identification and beautification among the Yoruba tribe is no longer a norm, and some Yoruba states have enacted certain laws that prohibit the use of marks. Violators of the law are liable to fines or imprisonment or both. In Oyo State, for example, the prohibition of tribal marks is an integral part of the state's child rights law, a law that imposes a fine of 1 month imprisonment or both for violation. According to the law, no person shall tattoo or make a skin mark or cause any tattoo or skin mark to be made on a child.
Prominent people with tribal marks include Olusegun Obasanjo, Lamidi Adeyemi II, Ayo Fayose, Adegboyega Dosumu, Amororo I, and Christopher Alao Akala, Alpha Begore, and King Sunny Ades, to mention but a few.
Ni ne mai suna Tukur Sani daga Kajuru local government a Kufana. Gaskiya mu a garin nan Kufana community duka muka taro, muka zauna, muka yi meeting game da matsalan hanyar nan. Wannan rafin nan mun kai kuka a wajen hakimi. Da shi hakimi ya ce to wannan matakin nan shi zai rubuta ya kai ma local government. Daga wurin kuma sai member na skip, wani kungiya ne na zaman kanta, shi ma wani member ya zo ya shigo da wannan budget na wannan gadan nan tun da dadewa, amma har yanzu ba mu samu cin gaba game da wannan hanyar ba. Har ila yau muna kan rubuta letoti, mun ma rubuta leta waɗanda sun mafi so 10. This is how we in Kufana, Kajuru local government, Kaduna State, now sit down, look.
A classico, I tell you, my 3 points is clear.
Yes.
They go watch match.
Okay, what do you want me to do about it? Give us light.
That's the only thing you've been saying since you came into my office.
Maybe your work be that.
No, it's my work, but see.
Our government fit do their work if we sef do our own work. No just sit down. Carry wetin dey worry you, go meet who suppose solve am.
Sunana Yakubu, amma an fi sani na da Yaks. Abu mafi mahimmanci shine har yanzu muna zaune da ƙwayar cutar polio a ƙasar mu. Wasu sun san digon rigakafin polio, wato digo biyu da ake bada na baki. Wasu kuma ba su san da haka ba. Wasu suna tunanin wannan digo guda biyu sau ɗaya kawai ya wadatar. Shin digo biyu ya wadatar? Bari mu bincika. Yaya aiki?
Lafiya kalau.
Digon mai guda biyu kawai zai isa soya kosai?
Ba zai isa ba.
To, ta ce ba zai isa ba. Ina zuwa. Na gode. Shin za ki amfani da digon nono guda biyu kawai ki dama fura?
A'a, ba zai yiwu ba gaskiya. Saboda nonon ne yake taimakawa wurin dama furan.
Na gode. Tambaya nake, shin digon ruwa biyu kawai zai isa haɗa shayi?
Ai ba zai yiwu a haɗa ruwa da shayi da digon ruwa biyu ba. Dalili kuwa ai ba zai isa mutum ba. Dole sai ya kai kaman kofi ɗaya.
Barka da.
Barka gare.
Da Allah tambaya nake so yi.
Allah sa na sani.
Shin digon man fetur guda biyu, digon man fetur guda biyu zai isa ya sa wannan mashin aiki?
A'a, ba zai sa shi aiki ba gaskiya.
Dalili ba?
Saboda ai bai wadace shi ba.
Haba.
Kwarai da gaske.
To nan ina zaka?
Dan je nan bayani.
Da Allah bari bi ka. Allah bai na wani.
Lafiya Allah.
Kwayan gishiri biyu kadai. Shin zai isa ya sa naman nan daɗi?
A gaskiya ba zai isa ya sa naman nan daɗi ba. Sai an ɗan sa gishirin da yawa tukuna, sannan a haɗa, sannan ya garwaye naman har ya yi daɗi.
Na gode. Kuma yadda muka je, digo biyu kawai bai sa ya wadatar da wani abu mai ma'ana ba. Haka ma digon rigakafin polio, dole ne yaro ko yarinya su samu digo bibbiyu akai-akai na rigakafin polio.
Directive on SARS. Panic in Abuja suburb after cholera outbreak. Hello and welcome to PTV Tonight. I am Aisha Jibrin. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has ordered an immediate reorganization of the Police Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. He has also directed the National Human Rights Commission to set up a special panel on alleged unlawful activities of SARS. This follows persistent complaints bordering on human rights abuse attributed to the operatives. Osinbajo specifically directed Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris to overhaul the management and activities of the Special Police Team. The presidency statement indicates that the acting president expects an intelligence-driven unit to emerge from the process. Osinbajo wants the activities of the new SARS to be restricted to the prevention and detection of armed robbery and kidnapping. The acting president has also directed the IGP to ensure that all operatives in the emerging unit should conduct themselves in their operations in strict adherence to the rule of law. The operatives, according to the new directive, are expected to bear proper identification anytime they're on duty. And a few minutes after the presidential directive, Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris has announced that SARS operations would be restricted only to armed robbery and kidnapping cases. Police spokesman Jimoh Moshood said in a statement that there would be an immediate medical and psychological evaluation of all SARS personnel nationwide. He added that the operatives are also to put an end to stop and search operations as well as wear a new uniform with identity name tags. Moshood also disclosed that the IG has approved the appointment of a new commissioner of police as the overall head of the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad. He noted that SARS would henceforth be under the Department of Operations at Force Headquarters Abuja, unlike the previous arrangement where it was answerable to the Force Criminal Intelligence and Investigations Department. The head of SARS team will, according to the police spokesman, report to the Inspector General through the Deputy Inspector General in charge of operations. And on Kaduna security, the police say detectives are on the trail of bandits who ambushed and killed 4 operatives. The personnel were ambushed on patrol in the Rigasa area of Kaduna State. Police spokesman Yakubu Sabo said no efforts would be spared to get the culprits.
06:30 hours, while our policemen attached to IGP intelligence response team were on operation along Regasa axis by Jankasa village, Kaduna. They were ambushed by some armed bandits, and following a very fierce gun duel, 4 of our policemen paid the supreme sacrifice, meaning they lost their lives in the operation. It was quite an unfortunate incident. However, we mobilized reinforcement teams to fish them out. Mobilized reinforcement team to the area to track the fleeing killers to ensure that they are brought to face justice. We were saddened by the incident, and we commiserate with the families of the fallen heroes. They died gallantly, trying to protect the country.
Now joining us live at telephone call to discuss the SARS operations and further police activities is Van der Fan James, ex-CSP of the police. Hello, Van der Fan.
Yes, please, Aisha.
Good evening. You're welcome to PTV tonight.
My pleasure.
Now, you heard of the directive to overhaul the SARS department as given by the acting president, Yemi Osinbajo. What do you experience in that field? Tell us the effect of this, to the police setup.
Well, the directives by the vice president to overhaul SARS is a welcome development even by the operatives who are within SARS. SARS is a track force of the service. Any of the commands that has it always achieve results of arresting armed robbers, prosecuting them. But the abuses are there within and outside. Most of the complaints SARS receive are supposed to be processed from the Commissioner of Police to them before they can handle. But in most instances, you have commissioners who still forward to SARS complaints that are not robbery related. So it results into issue of favoritism and abuses are occurred because you are trying to kind of favor your boss who has sent a complaint to you. So you don't have a choice than to obey the last order. So in most instances, that is why most of these abuses occur, because you are receiving complaints that are not supposed to be treated by staff. Not that you do illegal things, but you are giving a complaint directed by the Commissioner of Police to you.